know, I've got a theory about hospital food. If you can eat it for a year without perishing, you can survive anything.
Oh, it's all right for you married types. You can eat at home sometimes. You're not patient's clinic this afternoon.
No, I'm on casualty, and I hope it's better than last time.
But what does that mean? More patients? Or less?
Well, different. I'm a bit tired of small boys with marbles up their noses, women who've caught themselves on zips, and yobbers who've cut themselves on somebody else's razor.
But the glamour of it all. Yeah. Well, if you're on duty, I'll see you this evening then.
Yeah, we'll see what arsenic Annie's cooked up in the canteen this time. Afternoon. Looking forward to lunch. Oh, nurse, you back on duty? How's your mother?
Better, thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
Your wife phoned, Dr. Baxter. Shall I get it for you?
No. I'll get in touch with her later. Anything urgent or complicated?
No, Doctor, but there's a road accident coming in. I heard a few moments ago.
Oh, any details?
A woman at the railway station. Apparently she walked straight out of the station in front of a taxi.
Well, that's one way of getting one.
Fortunately, it had practically stopped. The ambulance crew radioed in that she has only superficial injuries to her leg.
We'll see. You can never be certain in these cases.
Casualty? Yes, he's here. Nurse Simpson, Ward 8.
Yes, nurse. Mrs. who? Oh, the appendicectomy woman. No, I will not come and see her. I'm required in casualty. Well, if there is anything wrong with her, temperature, pulse, BP, all normal, which there isn't, then get in touch with Mr. Carter Brown. Look, I don't care if she does want to see me personally. And nurse, you should know better than to waste my time with frivolous complaints. I've got a casualty coming. Well, what's happened to you?
I was knocked down. It was my own fault.
That makes a pleasant change.
It's my leg.
Yeah, we'll have a look at it right away.
Do you wear glasses, Mrs. Lawrence?
No, Doctor.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you just look straight up there at the ceiling, just at one point for a moment, please. Right. Now the other eye, do exactly the same, only look straight up there. Thank you, Mr. Lawrence. Do you mind if Dr. Ridge examines you?
You want me to take my clothes off?
Oh, that won't be necessary, thanks.
I don't mind.
Just look straight up there, please. There. Do. Now, would you put your tongue out, please? Yes. And now the nails. Yes, well, there is some colonychia.
Yes, the doctor does mention it in his letter. Well,
for a start, we'd better put it on a bit of iron.
Hey, what's that?
all Dr. Ridge means is that you're suffering from anemia. So we're going to give you some iron tablets to take.
Lucky I've got good teeth.
Anything else?
Oh, yes, are you from the West Indies?
Trinidad.
Better make sure she hasn't got a sickle cell.
That's a special type of anemia that people from your part of the world can get. It's called sickle cell anemia because, well, that's the shape of some of the blood cells.
Is that bad?
Oh, we can treat it if you've got it. But first of all, we'd like you to come in for a blood test. So if you come back by the same time next week, we'll have the result. In the meantime, we'll fix you up with those iron tablets now. There's your prescription. And if you go to the pharmacy on your way out, Mrs. Lawrence.
Thank you, Doctor. Bye, Doctor.
Goodbye, Mrs. Lawrence.
Leonard Tate, isn't it? Hello, Leonard. I'm Dr. Armstrong.
Hello, Doctor.
Do sit down. You the boy's mother?
Yes.
I see you were sent to us by your Your family doctor, Dr. Thorne.
That's right. You see, Leonard hasn't been
Yes,
feeling
just,
too well.
just let me read his letter, please, Mrs. Tate.
Well, that's your foot stitched up. There should practically be no scar. I said there'd be no scar.
Oh, yes, thank you, Doctor.
Are you all right?
A bit shaken, that's all.
Yeah. Well, we'll get you off and have that foot x-rayed.
I feel such a fraud on this.
Oh, we always make the patients travel on them. You can go to x-ray.
We don't have the patient's details yet, Doctor. Miss,
I'm sorry?
can I have your name, please?
No, it's all right. It can wait till she gets back from x-ray. Let's have a look at this patient first.
But we need her name for the...
Nurse, the next patient. Off you go. Oh, what seems to be the trouble with you?
Right. Thank you, Leonard. You can put your jacket on again now. Now, I see from Dr. Thorne you've been feeling rather tired lately. Headaches, loss of appetite.
Yes, I do feel a bit rotten now and then. Weak.
Been passing water more frequently than usual.
Yes.
Getting up in the middle of the night.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
I didn't want to wake anybody.
Well, it's no wonder you're tired sometimes. It's only natural at his age. He's a growing boy. He's been studying hard. His exams are coming up soon. All he needs is a tonic.
Mrs. Tate, Dr. Thorne thinks there might be something, well, not quite right with Leonard's kidneys. We're inclined to agree with him. We'd like to do some tests.
What sort of tests?
Well, we'd like to start with what we call an intravenous pyelogram. It's not as fearsome as it sounds. What we do is to inject a mixture called some coloured stuff into a vein, and then we take x-rays at regular intervals to see how your kidneys are working.
This IO stuff doesn't let x-rays through then?
That's right.
When are you going to do this?
We'd like to do it now.
Now?
Well, it would save you coming back for another outpatient's clinic.
Can I help you?
Well, yes. I was supposed to go into surgical ward 7, but they didn't have
What's
room
your
for
name?
me. Unsworth. Albert Unsworth.
Oh, yes, we've been expecting you. You're our hernia, aren't you?
Well,
Come along with me. Sister, our hernia's arrived.
Right. If you come and sit down here, Leonard. There we are. Well, now, we've had a look at the results of your intravenous pyelogram. You know, I think you're old enough for me to tell you just what's going on. You see, your left kidney isn't working very well and your right one not at all.
What does that mean? What do kidneys do exactly, Doctor?
Well, one of their functions is to filter the waste products from the blood. If they don't do that properly, the blood becomes poisoned, and that's why you haven't been feeling too good recently.
Can you give him something for it?
We'd like him to come into hospital for a while.
As a precaution.
What'll happen to me in here?
Oh, nothing very terrible. Just some more tests, mainly to find out exactly what's wrong. Now, Mrs. Tate, if you wouldn't mind going home, getting Leonard's things for him, Nurse will tell you exactly what he needs, and we'll make arrangements for his admission. Do you live far?
No, Hanley Road.
You'll tell Dad what's happened, won't you, Mum?
Yes, of course I will.
And ask him to come and see me.
Yes.
There we are, Leonard. Now, if you go with the nurse, she'll take you to the ward, and I'll come along and see you as soon as you've settled in, all right?
Do you reckon Dad will come tonight, Mum?
I'll make sure he does. It's serious, isn't it? I can tell.
Well, not necessarily. In any case, it's very far from being hopeless, so stop worrying. Just go home and get Leonard's things, Mrs. Tate.
Are you telling me the truth?
We usually find it's best.
of its pre-war colonial splendor. But the fortunes of war can often become a paradox. For Hong Kong, it was the beginning of a new
Good afternoon. And how are you all feeling today?
Hong Kong is situated on the south coast of China, roughly about halfway.
Hello? You're new here, aren't you?
Well, that's right. I only came in this morning. Albert Unsworth.
Miss Finch.
Pleased to meet you. You know, I didn't realise they had men and women in the same ward.
They do it in
different cubicles, but it's still the same ward.
But they do it in all the latest hospitals. Takes people's minds off things. What are you in for?
Oh, nothing really.
Well, you wouldn't be in this hospital for nothing.
Just a hernia.
Well, this is a medical ward, not surgical.
Well, they didn't have a bed in a surgical ward.
They will have soon, don't you worry. Surgical. And always having beds going vacant unexpectedly in surgical.
It's only a routine operation.
Routine? Is that what they told you? They always do. Routine. Nothing serious. That's what they told me.
Well, if it's not a rude question, what exactly are you...
Bronchitis. At least that's what they said it was.
Ah.
But I mean, penicillin, streptomycin, aureomycin, tetracycline. None of them made a scrap of difference. I mean, if it had just been simple bronchitis, I'd have been out long since.
I must say, you look quite well.
Oh, I may look all right. Take Mrs. Beasley. She looked as healthy as an apple. Rosy cheeks, always laughing. They said she had bronchitis.
Well,
like that.
good heavens.
Still, I try not to give up hope.
Well, that's the spirit. You're very brave.
I don't want to depress the other patients. Hernia, you said?
Nurse Price will look after you, Leonard.
Thank you, sister.
call me Hilda when Sister Chapman and the other doctors aren't around.
And you can call me Katie.
You a nurse too?
Student nurse.
Hello, Leonard. Not in bed yet?
Mum hasn't come back with the things.
Oh.
I say, men and women in the same ward.
Get some out of bed quicker. You'd be surprised.
Here's your mother, Leonard.
Thank you, sister.
Now, 5 minutes.
Leonard?
Oh, that's all right, Leonard.
Right, Leonard. Out of your clothes and into your pajamas. Thank you, ladies.
Yes, Dr. Ridge.
Yes, Dr. Ridge.
What does your husband do, Mrs. Tate?
Oh, he's a maintenance and repairing engineer for printing presses.
Oh, that sounds an interesting job.
He likes it.
Does he travel about much?
Fair bit. Doctor, is it serious?
Well, I can only repeat what Dr. Armstrong said. We don't know yet. But in any case, it's far from hopeless.
But you've done everything in such a rush.
Well, we just didn't want to take any risks, that's all. Ah, that was quick. Out, Leonard. Say goodbye to your mother.
You'll take good care of him, won't you? Yes, of course you will. It's just... Well, he's an only child, and if anything happens to him...
Thank you, Sister.
Hello, sister. I'm Dr. Thorne. I've come to see Leonard Tate, the renal case.
Oh, Mr. Ridge is with him at the moment.
It's all right, it's all right. Hello, Leonard. How are you feeling?
Not too bad, thanks.
Good.
Who are you?
I'm his doctor. Who are you?
Ridge, registrar.
Thorne. How do you do? Perhaps you can tell me then what you found out about Leonard.
I suggest we have a talk later, when I've finished my rounds. Sister, in future, please make sure that any visits by general practitioners are by prior arrangement. This is a hospital, not a hotel.
This is Mr. Parker Brown, who will perform the operation.
Pleased to meet you. Mister.
Well, senior surgeons are called Mr.
He is a doctor.
Would you care to see my diplomas, or will you take my word for it?
No offence.
We'll be doing the operation quite soon, Mr. Unsworth. A few days after that, you'll be able to go home. It's perfectly straightforward.
Routine.
Yes, you could say that.
Are you sure?
My dear Mr. Unsworth, there's no need to be alarmed. I perform more hernia operations than I can account for.
Oh, I'm sure you have, Doctor. Mister.
Thank you for the vote of confidence.
If it is a hernia.
What?
If it is a hernia.
Of course it is. A perfectly routine hernia.
Ah, that's what you always say. Just routine, I've been told.
Dr. Baxter, have you any idea what this patient is rambling on about?
No.
I mean, no one told Miss Finch the truth about what was wrong with her.
Who?
Ah, Miss Finch, the patient of Dr. Ridge's. You know.
Oh, her.
Goodbye, old chap. Hey, I've got other patients to see.
Here, he didn't half have a go at you, that other doctor, Dr. Ridge.
I expect his team lost on Saturday.
He's all right, though, isn't he?
Of course he is. Bye, Leonard. And don't forget to do what Dr. Ridge tells you.
Bye.
Bye.
In future, Doctor, if you want to see a patient, I'd be grateful if you make an appointment in advance.
Well, I'm afraid that's quite impossible. I have to make emergency visits to patients' homes. I have to fit in hospital visits when and how I can.
Well, it's just as impossible for us. We have everyone and anyone wandering in and out of the ward as they please. Why, we have a proper routine here.
Then change it. Hospitals are for patients, not routines.
But that, if I may say so, Doctor, is an irresponsible remark. Look, we have to deal with hundreds of patients that you and your colleagues send to us.
That remark, if I may say so, is as juvenile as it is insulting.
Gentlemen, Dr. Thorne, Dr. Ridge, will you please remember where you are and lower your voices? Now, what is all this?
You know him.
I was trying to explain to this young man here that it's quite impracticable for me to make appointments to visit my patients here in advance.
Oh, look, it's no more impractical than having people wandering in and out of the wards as they please.
I'm
We can't run a
concerned with
hospital
my
like that.
patients and not your ruddy roll book. Anyone would think that you had an active policy of non-cooperation with family doctors here.
I'm sure this is just a misunderstanding between you and Dr. Ridge. I would be very happy for you to see your patients whenever it's convenient.
Thank you.
Dr. Armstrong.
Just a moment, please, Dr. Ridge. Dr. Thorne, I wonder if you could find time to come and see me this evening. Later on, I shall be working late, say about 7 o'clock.
Yes, all right, provided, of course, I don't get
permitting.
any...
Of course.
Of course. Till 7, then.
Did you hear all that?
I should think they could hear it in the ear clinic.
I can't say I blame Dr. Ridge. It was a bit cheeky of that, Dr. Thorne.
Do you like older men?
Oh, yes. I used to go out with someone who was nearly 30. What about you?
Oh, older or younger, as long as they can breathe and they're mobile. I was surprised he got past the iceberg.
What?
The iceberg, Sister Chapman.
Don't you call her that.
Don't worry.
Haven't you finished the chart yet?
Yes, Sister, just finished.
Then you can get on and clean the sluices. And the utensils. And Nurse Shaw can help you.
Yes, Sister.
Yes, sister.
Oh, Dr. Ridge, I'm very sorry.
What about
About not being able to stop Dr.
Thorne?
Yes, Dr. Thorne coming into the ward like that.
That's all right, sister. It's not your fault. After all, you're a ward sister, not a nightclub bouncer.
Well, I thought I saw Dr. Armstrong talking to him in the corridor.
Yes. Yes, he told him he could come in whenever he wants. Yes.
Oh. Well, I suppose...
You fractured a metatarsal in the first phalanx of the second toe. Nurse, I'll be putting a cast on this.
Very well, Doctor.
Well, there's no need to look so gloomy. It could have been a lot more serious.
Yes, I suppose you're right. It's not that exactly.
Oh, what is it then?
Well, it's difficult to explain, but...
We still don't have the patient's particulars, Doctor.
Oh, all right, Nurse.
Can I have your name and address, please? Your name, please.
Well, what's wrong? Is somebody after you? Husband, boyfriend? It's none of the police.
Oh, no, of course not. At least
Well,
I don't think so. Look, I know it sounds silly, but I can't remember my name.
what?
I haven't the faintest idea who I am.